So where do you stand? DMB, Ken, Brian?
Oh, I am DMB in and out. I mean, I've always been DMB, and I'm still DMB, and I'll forever be DMB, I think so, until he decides not to run for elections. I am convinced that at this material moment, he stands and he gives our party the best shot in elections 2028, and I think that we should all rally behind him for a good chance at elections 2028.
But why DMB?
Why DMB? DMB has been marketed once already. I mean, he's already a household name across the nation. We're not starting from scratch unless he has something to build on. I'm sure you've heard about the I can't nipe slogan.
Right.
The way Pratt turned to look at me, I can't nipe slogan. I believe that in a very difficult elections in 2024, more than 4 people out of every 10 Ghanaians gave him thought that he was a man to lead Ghana. And so going again into an elections, and it's been shown over time that a Ghanaian voter has some likeness for persistence on the ballot paper. And for all those who have put themselves up to lead our party at this material time, he's the person who has been there before. And I think that he stands tall amongst the 5 people who have actually put themselves out to lead the party. Then again, I mean, relative to the people who have put themselves out, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, in the space of 16 years in public life, I mean, he's shown exemplary leadership. I think that the way he's held himself, what he's brought to the table, and I believe that he's brought so much to the vice presidency position, and that we've not seen since 1992, and that's a lot of people who concede to that. I think that DMB has shown a lot of vision. I mean, he's taken on projects that he's been able to run even as a vice president. Given that he becomes the ultimate or the executive president that we run in this nation, I believe that he's going to have a lot of impact on all sectors of our facets of our lives in this country. And I think that at this material moment, on both sides of the political divide, he has experience, he has exposure, and I think that we should give him the opportunity to lead this country in 2028. That's what I'm
Now speaking about this, Akana Impe, what makes you believe that the 41% that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia garnered in the last elections is still there, is guaranteed?
I'm saying that in the very difficult elections in 2024, I mean, going into the elections, we as politicians, we believe we're going to win. Besides that, we were reading reports, the EIU reports and other quite credible reports were giving us the outlook in the run up to the elections. Given that sort of situation, and he garnered, I say, for every 10 Ghanaians that you see, more than 4 of them thought that even in 2024, he had or he should lead the country. Now, what it means that he has more than 4. What you need is, if one person shifts position, he's home and dry, and that is what we are working at. And so when you say Akana Impe, means that he garnered 41.7% of the votes. What we need is 9% of the voting population to come on his side.
But the question is that 41 still there?
Is it still there?
Know it for a fact?
That is why I keep saying that in the most difficult elections that we went into, given the cyclical nature of our elections, 8 years in, 8 years out, he still garnered that level of votes. I believe that majority, probably 99% of those who thought that he was a good candidate in 2024 will stick by him. And what we need is another 9%, another 1% shifting position, and we are home and dry. I think that he stands tall. I mean, in 2008, Professor Mills won elections by the slimmest of margins. I mean, what we need It's just one person shifting position, and we're home and dry. That is the thinking behind the Akana.
No elections are the same.
Certainly not.
Yes.
But the Ghanaian voter has shown that candidates who have persisted, who have been repeated on the ballot paper. Professor Mills tried 3 times. President Kufuor did twice. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo did 3 times. If you take the outliers, President Rawlings coming in after he has led the country for over 10 years, and then President Mahama going into his first election as a sitting president, those who have persisted, those who have been repeated on the ballot paper, tend to be favored by the voter. And that is the advantage Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has over the other contenders within the party. If we don't repeat him and we bring a new candidate, it means that we are starting on the scratch. And thankfully, President Mahama has come out to say that he's not going to run whatever happens. He's not going to run in the elections in 2028. It presupposes that the NDC are going to bring a new candidate. And I mean, who has won presidency in Ghana at the first attempt? I mean, President Rawlings' situation is an outlier. Who has won at the first attempt? Nobody has done that before. So for us, we think that we have an advantage. Repeating him as a candidate, his familiarity across the country has been marketed. And I mean, today, if the NDC wants to say anything against the MP, who did they attack? They attack him, and not the other 4 people. Look, everything that they can say about Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been said already. What is new? What is new? So we stand in a better state, sticking with him and supporting him through the elections. Look, the NDC showed us. When President Mahama lost elections in 2016, we thought that it was the end of President John Mahama. I don't know whether we underrated him, whether we overrated our victory. I am not too sure what it is. But the NDC rallied behind him over 2 subsequent elections, and he won on the 3rd attempt. Okay. And that is exactly what the New Patriotic Party has to do. All right. After all, we are going to the same market, the same voters, the same characteristics. And so what has changed? Okay. Admittedly, there are things that came up in the elections 2024 that for us as a party, as a tradition, the UPPP or the NPP, we have to fix. And those are the reasons why this time we have decided that we need a flag bearer first, and then we can come back, do our internal elections. But then we are giving the flag bearer a much longer time, up to about 3 years, to be able to put the party in a state that will give us a good chance at winning the elections. Okay. So exactly that is what I'm sticking with. Right. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I don't think that Uncle Kwesi Pratt deserves a right to speak on this anyway. He's itching too. He's itching too.
You have decided.
I've said mine. I've said mine. You can disagree with me, and that's fine.
No, you decide this person.
No, I'm saying mine. I'm saying mine.
So why do you say that I shouldn't be allowed to?
The way you were itching, the way you were moving.
How was I itching?
Anyway, more. That's my
thing. If you have this attitude, how do you ever hope to win an election? Of gagging people.
This is by the way. This is by the way. This is by the way, man.
This is by the way.
It's by the way.
Yes. He said he didn't mean it.
Oh, okay. He just said it.
Yes, he just said it. He said it in jest.
So how many things has he said this morning that he didn't mean?
Well, we don't.
Is this the only one?
We don't know that.
Yeah?
We don't know that.
At least he admits that this one, he said it without meaning it.
Yes.
But he said so many other things. Which ones didn't you mean?
Why are you not having a bite on this matter?
Okay.
How was he?
Master, you see?
Just 9. Only 9.
I can't
Only
9.
Hold on. You see, this country has a population, some say, of about 32 million people.
It's actually 35 now.
35.
By the Ghana Statistical Service. New reading.
Of this population, any number that is above 40 years old and is of sound mind has a right to dream about becoming a president. Dreaming about becoming a president is not a problem. Everybody can dream. You understand? Wish to become president. What I think they should avoid is doing voodoo analysis. Because those who do voodoo analysis do not appear to think that we are intelligent enough to read through what they tell us. That's my problem. I mean, dream to become a president, but don't think that we are stupid, because we are not. Okay? Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a Ghanaian citizen. He's about 40 years old. He's qualified to be president of Ghana on the basis of the constitutional provision and so on. He has a right to dream. But don't tell us that Ghanaians don't vote for first-timers and that Ghanaians are in sympathy or will vote for people who have contested elections before. Let's check the records. Why? Hassan Ayaraga. He joined the political race long before Dr. Bawumia. Have we voted him as president? So how do you make that argument? Huh? LPG, Apalu, he was in the race before Mahmoud Bawumia. We have not elected him as president. What kind of argument is that? What kind of reasoning is that? And then go into our history. Why? 1951. Nkrumah won elections as a first-timer. True or false?
True.
Buzia won elections as a first-timer. 1969. You understand? Liman won elections as a first-timer. 1979. Rawlings won elections as a first-timer. 1992, and so on. And we can go on with the list. That's a bad argument. Don't make it. It has no empirical basis. It is voodoo analysis. And don't give us voodoo analysis on this platform. You understand? Now, this whole thing about Akkad 9 pet. My brother, you are also saying that you, well-educated, articulate, respected politician, you're also saying Akkad 9 pet. What is the basis? What's the empirical basis of that claim? You think that those who voted for you in the last election, Massa, you think that those who voted for you in the last election will continue to vote for you? They won't shift and so on. We've just had the Akwetia by-election. The Akwetia by-election should teach you that the numbers are not static. They move. And even if you expect 9 to change position and join you, it shows a certain movement. You understand? And that movement is not guaranteed because you are a second-timer or third-timer in the groups and so on. It's not. So this Akkad 9, I don't know where it's coming from. Very strange. Why? You want to campaign? Stop the sloganeering. Come and tell us what you can do in order to improve the living conditions of the people of this country. Come and tell us the devastated roads that you left behind, what you can do to rehabilitate those roads. You left power at a time that cocoa production had fallen by more than 50%. What are you going to do to revive the cocoa sector? You left power at a time when even as syndicated loans could not be guaranteed. You couldn't get syndicated loans to buy cocoa. Come and tell us what you're going to do about that. You understand? You left power at the time when the city's value had fallen completely. Come and tell us what you will do to revive the value of the city. Come and tell your own party members what is it that you have which Kennedy Dapon doesn't have, which Brian Achampon doesn't have. You understand? Which Kobile Dapon doesn't have, and so on. That is how you become first presidential candidate and ultimately first presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, and eventually the president of the Republic of Ghana. You don't do that by sloganeering and voodoo analysis and so on. My friend, let's be serious.
Issah?
Moro. I think that elections in this country are on stages, and those are internal elections. And whatever we are doing today, the aim is to be able to get to the flag bearership of the New Patriotic Party. Even beyond that, because Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is contested in national elections, his outlook and his vision is out there. What he intends to do about the various sectors are out there. I mean, he led in an election that came out with a manifesto. We sold it to the Ghanaian voters, and they came out with the results. That's fine. Now what we are doing is internal elections. And if this is what is going to clinch us, I don't see why anybody should have any challenge with it. What we are telling our voters is that, look, last time when Dr. went for the general elections, more than 4 out of every 10 voter thought that he was the right person to lead this nation. This time, he needs to build upon what he was able to garner. Simple. You see, all the people that Uncle Kwesi Pratt is mentioning, in Nkrumah's case, I mean, we're running a parliamentary system at the time, similar with Buzia. The Westminster system, it's very different. A lot of people try parliamentary elections and they win at the first time. And if by the design of the constitution of the time, it makes them prime minister, so be it. Liman's case, I mean, 79 is for us, all of us to see what happened to us, the PFP UAC thing. I mean, it's there for us to see. And talking about Rawlings had led this nation for over 10 years. He transitioned into democratic governance. And I mean, he went into that election with a huge advantage. Look at the elections in 1992. The New Patriotic Party had barely 3 months. And I mean, Mr. Kwesi Pratt was an integral person within that era. And it's clear that Rawlings transitioning from a military leader to a democratic leader was automatic. He was a phase that we had seen. I was born in 1975, and all that I had seen from the point of when I started growing up until 1992 was Mr. Rawlings. And so it's an outlier. He should give us any other example, somebody winning at the first time. Even President Mahama, he had gone for these elections as a sitting president and had 6 months or so as the president of this nation going into elections in 2012. So it's just what the Ghanaian voter is made of. That is not to say that we are assuming that is the only thing that we believe. I belong to the faction within the NPP that believe that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia should be given another opportunity to build upon what he garnered in 2024. And that's all we are saying at this point.
Masa, you have admitted right now that there are many other factors which will determine who wins elections.
Sure.
You have just admitted that.
Sure.
So I'm happy with you.
Sure.
To come and tell us that because he's contested before, it gives you an advantage. I think it's
But
bad.
that is what the data shows.
Oh, please. What data shows? What data? There are many other factors, and you have admitted. So I'm okay. I'm okay with that. What troubles me is that you claim that in the last elections, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia came up with a manifesto, programs, things that he wanted to do to improve the quality of life of the Ghanaian people and so on. He lost on that. Is that the same program you are bringing? Is that the same program you are bringing? If you are bringing that same program, then go and sleep. Don't try. Because the verdict on that program is clear. I hope you understand what I'm saying. This is the program you brought, and using your words, sold. Who bought it? You're talking about Akana. Akana, it means that you didn't get sufficient numbers to buy that program. Why do you think that program would be bought today? If it was rejected 8 months ago or 9 months ago, why do you think that today people are going to buy that program?
The reason I think that people will buy into it is that, look, there were also other factors that were in play in 2024. Amongst them, parties come in 8 years and they leave after 8 years. That's been the convention, if you want to say that. Parties come in 8 years and they leave at 8 years, and it was 8 years. We were in the second term of a government, and no government has broken the 8. We started by saying we wanted to break the 8. Unfortunately, Ghanaians still think that, look, after 8 years, a new party should come and take the reins of this. It's such a strong factor. It will go against, no matter how palatable, no matter how feasible your policies are. Sometimes people don't even consider that. What they say is Mukwaya, Mukwaba. That's it. They don't even want to know what is contained in your programs and policies. It went against us, and it was real. We were going into an election and we wanted to break the 8. We knew it was not going to be a walk in the park, right? But we gave it our best shot. But Ghanaians still say, look, that's what we want. And so that is a strong factor going into elections 2024. In 2028, it's not going to be there. It's not going to be there like that. Look, between 2016 and 2020, President Mahama was able to cover about 500,000 votes. He lost elections in 2016 by over 1 million votes. By 2020, within 4 years, he was covering 500,000. And given I keep saying, and people now are admitting, some of the people who sat on platforms like this, when you mention some of the factors that, or the headwinds that the NPP had to deal with between 2017 and 2024, who will doubt and who will throw sand into it and all of it. Today, they've started admitting it, the difficulty that the government or the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, had to face. I mean, in living memory, it's never happened. Now today, reality, the chicken are coming home to roost. We are facing some of the intricacies. Yes, today we can say, yes, the currency, all of that. It's a result of very difficult decisions that we took. Very difficult decisions. DDEP and all of that, they were very difficult decisions. No, they were not decisions that we ourselves in government were very happy with. But at the time, faced with reality, we needed to do that. And that is what we did. Today, the whole economy, good for oil, you can say whatever you want about it. These were policies that today we are enjoying. And these are policies that is holding our economy today. So Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia himself, his creativity, his humility, his vision, his leadership, I think he stands tall amongst the five. And I think that Ghanaians have even started appreciating not too long ago that a deputy governor come to admit that some of these policies, building up of our reserves and all of that, are what is holding this economy to where it is today. And this is the sort of visionary we are looking at backing to lead our party and to lead our nation.
Master, you see, I have a problem with this attitude. This attitude of some politicians. Please do not ever think that the Ghanaian people cannot identify their interests. The Ghanaian people are not dumb. They know what is in their interest. The election results show that they didn't approve those programs. Unless you want to say that the Ghanaian people are dumb, they don't know what is in their interest. They are so foolish that even when you are acting in their interest, they cannot see it and they will vote against you. That's a horrible position for anybody to take. I believe that the people of Ghana are very intelligent.
I believe so too.
They know what is in their interest. Their vote in elections reflects their true aspirations and a correct evaluation of candidates. So this thing about we did our best, we did for Ghana, and the people didn't see it, and the people voted against. Please stop it.
I didn't say that.
Because it is insulting.
I didn't say that. Those are your words.
It is very
I didn't
insulting.
say that. Those are your words. I'm going to say I didn't say that.
So what did you say? I'm ready to listen to you. What did you say? What did you say?
Well, you know, I was
Essentially, I am saying that puts the performance of the government of the new petrol in context. In context, the headwinds that we had to deal with within the 8 years, it's never been experienced in living memory. And those are the challenges we faced. And if at the end of it, look, in 2024, 80% of governments that went to elections, the US, the UK, obviously, all parties, ruling parties, lost elections. And Ghana is just one of us. So if this thing happens, look, the NPP lost elections. But our party is not dead.
But you see,
Our party is not dead. 80% of parties or ruling governments that went into elections in 2024 lost elections.
Masa.
It was a global thing.
Masa.
It was not unique to the new Patriotic
One of the
Party.
things you have
What I'm
admitted.
saying is that within the 8 years, we were faced with headwinds that we had to deal with, and we took the necessary and very difficult decisions. Look, the
Masa.
banking crisis, for instance. I mean, all of that. I mean, we took very, very difficult decisions, the implications of which we had to live with. And whatever Ghanaians thought those decisions, how it affected them, went into elections and all of that. But I'm saying that even beyond that, there's this convention, 8 years in, 8 years out. That's what we've dealt with over the last 32 years. And you think that it wasn't a factor in the elections?
Masa,
No matter your performance. I mean, if the people are tuned to the fact that after 8 years, we need a new party, I mean, forget it.
Yes. But what you're doing is actually demonstrating the poverty of your analysis then. And I think that you still suffer from poverty of analysis. How? You're saying that this 8-year cycle was so strong that it could not be overturned. You are saying that. I
didn't say it was not. I said we give it our best shot to overturn for the first time. We wanted to break the 8. That is what came out with the break the 8 slogan.
My brother, didn't you say that one of the reasons why you couldn't win the election was the 8-year cycle? That Ghanaians have decided that we should change governments after 8 years.
Yeah, he said that.
You said that.
Yes, I'm not right.
But you, going into that election, believe that that cycle could be changed.
Yes, of course.
What poverty of analysis led to that conclusion?
Why shouldn't we? Could we say that because we've been in power for 8 years, we're not going to contest elections?
Or
we're not going to go to the voters, or we're not going to try it? Are you saying that we're not going to contest elections because we've been in power for 8 years?
Why?
Why do you think we started saying we wanted to break the 8?
There's no harm in trying. But at the time, your analysis was that your government had performed so damn well that you could change that cycle.
Yes.
That was poor analysis. It didn't happen.
No. And we still stand by the fact that, given the headwinds, contextually, putting the performance of the government in context.
Master, I beg you.
We did a good job for Ghanaians. But Ghanaians are the ultimate judges. Okay. It's not us. Ghanaians are the ultimate judges.
You failed that time. Okay, you failed. That analysis was bad. It didn't give you the results you wanted and so on. Now, we've just elected another government 8 months ago. And if that cycle that you yourself say is very strong still persists, how are you going to win 2024? The cycle that you described, the 8-year cycle, which is unbreakable, so, if it still exists, how are you then going to win 2024?
Uncle Pratt. So I went on to say...
Master, do proper analysis.
I went on to say that for the first time, we have a president who is serving his second term, as whether first term, second term, right? He's come out to say that I am not going to contest in 2028, 4-year term, right? And you know, in this cycle that we've had, Ghanaians have been very patient with governments for the first term. And this is very similar to this analysis. After 4 years, and this is going to have a new candidate. And the new candidate is going to be the first time on the ballot paper, whoever it is. We need to repeat our candidate so that we don't wish away that advantage that we have on the ballot paper.